Can you talk more about deep sleep? What impulse is it that brings the source, stillness, to go into consciousness? What impulse brings the I am up and go again from deep sleep? Yeah, that's too complicated, Marford. I don't know the answer to that. Like I don't know what inspires life to create. Because this is most probably way beyond our capabilities as humans to contemplate on. It's so complex. I could talk more about deep sleep. So deep sleep, like all of us know, is the absence of everything. Absolute everything. It's not even an imagination that we can come up to of nothing, of a big void, because even that's an imagination of something. It's the absolute absence of everything. Absolute absence of everything. So somebody said to me, I think it was Nick, said to me something along the lines of, yeah, but in deep sleep, the body still wakes up, if you call it. But that's irrelevant. That might be the case in this world, that the body wakes up, if you call it. But that's irrelevant as to what deep sleep is. Like, so just put that to a side. That's all happening in the manifestation, and that's happening in the dream. But in deep sleep, there is absolutely nothing there. So that doesn't mean because the body can wake up when somebody calls it, it doesn't mean there's something there in deep sleep. That's kind of the functioning in the dream. In deep sleep, there's absolutely nothing. Nothing, 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 nothing. There's not a body that's asleep or not asleep. It's absolutely nothing. From another angle, that argument that the body wakes up when you shout at it, that's appropriate. But from this angle, I'm trying to show you or point out that deep sleep is absolutely nothing. And this is emptiness. This is what all things arise from. And right now, there is deep sleep appearing in everything. So that deep sleep is where all life is emerging from. You could even go one step further and say all life is that deep sleep. What's even more crazy when you go down this path is you realize that there can never be solely deep sleep, because deep sleep doesn't exist. So when you're in deep sleep, nothing's happening, so therefore it's instantaneous, which is the same as this life. So deep sleep is instantaneous. So even though the body has been asleep for 10 hours, the experience of this deep sleep is asleep and wake again. Like when I had my wisdom teeth out, they were like counting back, like 10, 9, and the next thing I knew was a nurse talking to me. So we don't experience deep sleep. You can't experience deep sleep, because what would there be to experience? Because there are no things in deep sleep. And if there's no things, there's no time. Time only can exist with things, with the movement of things. So deep sleep is not existent. So it's not moving through time. It doesn't contain time in it. So your experience of deep sleep, even though you're not experiencing it, but what happens is that it just is on, off, off, on. You fall asleep and then you're awake again. You don't recognize the movement of any time. So in a way, you could be in deep sleep. So life could be in rest without manifestation for billions and billions of years, seemingly, even though this can't really happen, but it could seem like that for billions of years. But it would actually, in deep sleep time, be instant. There wouldn't have been that passage of time that's moved. Just like now. So now there's two things. There is everything and there is nothing. And nothing ever moves. Nothing ever moves. It's still, it's right here. And then there is the appearance of everything, which is moving through an apparent time. And they come together. You can never have deep sleep because it doesn't exist. So you can only ever have nothing and everything. So people like to say that nothing is the source, but really that's only our limited, simplistic minds that like to think like that. They are undividable, because if there's only nothing, then there's nothing that happens, so it doesn't exist. So there can only ever be nothing and everything. So they can only simultaneously be the source, like the yin and yang sign goes together. Something like that. Yada, yada, yada. Is that understood? Any more questions? It's cool subject to start on. Thanks, Margaret, for the question.